a table. Let's go faster. Oh, we got a table, baby. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? We are here for another unboxing. This is the PSYLOCKE, a piece that I always wanted, but I just wouldn't spend the money on it, mainly because I'm a cheap ass. It's just what I am. It's what I do. I like to buy good deals. I like to buy sales, and that's what I did with this one. It was, again, part of what I keep talking about, a really good deal I made with that Deadpool there and that Rogue right there. This is the third piece to that deal, so we are going to get into it right now. And today, your boy, like all these other guys who are doing it big, we got a turntable. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, so getting into this piece right now, I actually do not have any directions on it, so I am kind of just piecing it as it goes. I did see the guys pull it apart, and I know it does have letters that connect to certain things, so that's kind of what I'm going to go at. And I see the first piece goes right here. Oh, but there's a lot of connections in this thing. So this piece fell out. It's got to go here. Now, I actually don't know really anything about PSYLOCKE. It was kind of like what I was telling you guys last time when we were doing the Rogue statue. I just really liked two particular characters. Oh, that's broken. And, oh, this thing doesn't move, dang it. And when I was growing up, I was like, oh my God, PSYLOCKE's so hot. I don't know, I'm a creep, what can I say? But I really did like PSYLOCKE as a character, and I really, really, really like Rogue as a character. So these are my two favorites, and I do see this piece has a lot of different angles and stuff, and I'm kind of making them up as I go. It says A. You know, I'll never understand when they make a statue, who the hell just says, yeah, this piece is going to go here and not make any sense. This particular statue has a lot of twists and turns in it. And I know if this comes out right there like that, this piece would probably go in, well, it says, yeah, I'm completely winging this, guys, here. Okay, so this looks like, I wanted to say it was part of a Sentinel, but it certainly is not. This is more Danger Room-esque to me. This particular model, or statue, I should say, this particular statue is very, very, very complicated. Way more complicated than I thought it was going to be. And there's a lot more pieces that come with it. So this actually has this piece and this piece look like they combine together. And then this connects to that piece. Oh, I am not going to have fun doing this. Because what I love about certain statues, you know, you can always say one thing about a statue, and that is that it is art in some aspect. Now, depending how you define art is completely up to you. I would say that any sculptor, because that's what happens to this, a sculptor envisions these things, and then they put them together in their head to make them into the statue that you have before you. Now, with that comment being made, the statues and the quote-unquote word art that I just used sometimes can just fall apart like that and really piss me off. They do come with their own variations in which you have to interpret and or work with. In this particular statue, I don't know how the hell to work this one, but I'm trying to figure it out as it goes. If you've had this before, if you own this statue, I'm sure you know the frustration in which I have right now for this piece, because I cannot figure an ounce of this out. Oh, there we go. I think I finally got it. So it's definitely, that's a lot. Now, this piece will connect into this. It was funny because when I bought this from the gentleman that sold to me, his name is Oscar, I was watching his son and him kind of play with this thing. Oh, wait, how do I do this? Woo! This is like a, oh, it goes, oh my God, it goes the other way. I was watching him take, I saw it in their display case, and I was watching them take it apart, and they were getting really frustrated with it. And as you can see, this Six Flags roller coaster thing going on is actually what stopped and made them kind of, look at me, I'm still moving the statue, I'm not even doing it. This contortion that they have here is pretty much the reason as to why they were getting so guys, I'm sorry today. I'm just having fun with this little thing. I apologize. The madness around this thing is what they're having frustrations with, because even when I look at it, I'm assuming this is the front view, which we'll find out in just a second, there's a lot of twists and turns to it, and whenever you're dealing with a statue, whether it's a resin statue or what have you, you can see right here, it is absolutely crazy. So definitely something to be wary of if you do happen to buy the XM PSYLOCKE. I didn't read what number one this is out of them. So this number is number 248 out of 799. So there are quite a few of these, and I'm pretty sure you can still buy them. If you aren't familiar with Spec Fiction may or may not have them on. I did it. Spec Fiction may or may not have some left. And if they do, get yourself one. I really don't remember what it looked like, but I just know that the only PSYLOCKE piece I have is part of the Sentinel collection. I'm looking right there, and she's only a 1/10. There are a couple custom ones. One that is coming out that I'm definitely going to get a hold of. I believe in the power of two when it comes to statues. Now, again, unless you're a fan of a certain character, I try to stick to at least max of two of each character, unless, like I said in the last video, like a Deadpool, Venom, Wolverine. Those are my favorite characters. Rogue, love them. PSYLOCKE, love her. So, with that exception being said, 2 is my magic number. Whether you want to do 12, 15, 100, I totally get it. The next part of the statue is there's these little tiny rays, which is making me think this is the danger room more and more and more each second, because as I look at it, it's kind of like there really is a lot to this. So I have to, and the problem is I am colorblind. So me finding certain things are not the same as it would be for somebody else. This little button thing is, this thing is freaking awesome. So I found where this one goes. I think it's funny whenever I buy a statue, because my favorite part of them is putting them together, and to kind of just keep this thing moving while I put it together, kind of like a game. It's really crazy because as much as these are pieces that stand still, and like I said, they are art, it also gives a little bit of fun to it before it just sits in a room and does nothing. Now, for those of you who do not own any statues, the number one thing that I found, well, I shouldn't say the number one thing, because it really wasn't the number one thing that I found. It was more or less an issue that I found, well, that I didn't know about prior to purchasing a statue, was the amount of room that it took up. I've said in multiple videos that this setup you see here is in another master bedroom in my house because I don't have a basement. I'm building myself a house now, so I will have a basement. But until I finish that house, I'm going to be in here, and if you could see behind me, it's packed out. I mean, there really is an exemplary, sure, amount of room that has been given to this for these statues. If you do decide to start purchasing your first statue, I recommend that you join a couple of Facebook groups. There's a couple statue collector, VIP guys, there's things like that. All of those rooms and all of those people, they are all super, super, super cool. And they are super, super helpful. I find that, you know, when you get a little more into these rooms and you start talking to more and more people, people can kind of guide you to which way you're going to go and what you're going to do and when you go to purchase something. And a lot of the people are super, super, super helpful. I can't tell you there's been anybody to me that's been, you know, hard to deal with, or someone who wasn't willing to give you a hand. I know for me personally, this broke off, so these two things breaking are 100% my fault. But they seem to be easy fixes. I know for me, when I do, there are a couple trolls in a couple of the rooms, but I do like to ask questions, especially if it's a custom piece, because you really don't know what you're getting into whenever you buy a custom statue. And it's even more nerve-wracking if you don't know who the commissioner is. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the term commissioner, commissioners are the guy. She's bad. She a bad chick. They sculpted her just like the way she was in the cartoon. Guys, ask questions. Get familiar with what you're buying. Do not hesitate to learn. Do not hesitate to ask. I think that by not asking, it's probably the absolute worst thing you can do. Now, for those of you who are also looking at this piece and thinking this may be your first piece to have, so far, it's awesome. I will move the camera in a second for you guys, but just to kind of give you a little bit of a 360 view of what's going on here. Her leg is actually, so this is what makes me more believe it's part of the danger room, because the base looks like it's like the center of the danger room. I remember in the cartoon, there's a big colander in the middle. All these tentacles are coming around. You can see they wrapped around her leg, which is where her leg locks in to hold her body up. So I think that's really awesome. I didn't realize how big this piece really was. As it turns around, and I'm so frustrated I broke a couple pieces off, but I will be able to fix those. Sidebar. Another thing about statues, guys, is things do break, so you got to be careful. I was stupid when I opened this up. I kind of just rolled everything out, and I should have known better, but I went against the grain on that. This particular PSYLOCKE piece, guys, has a pretty badass sword. The blade itself is made of metal, and it slips in her hand ever so smoothly like that. Now, I'm sure I put it in the wrong way. Yes, I did. However you place the statue, ooh, there we go. You want to make sure that sword is sturdy because it's definitely not a magnet inside of that sword whatsoever. I will put a backdrop on moving forward, guys. I know that'll be a lot easier for some of you guys. So let me reverse it. Ooh, look at me go with my little thing. We've got two head sculpts. Let me go ahead and give you guys a close-up on these. They have two face sculpts. One with her hair kind of like, you know, more sleek back. And this with her showing one of her powers. Again, it's kind of not so much the same hair, actually, now that I look at it a little bit closer, but borderline the same facial expression. Now, I kind of thought I would go with this one as it fits in ever so... Oh, it doesn't fit that well. Oh, okay. Is it not in right? Oh, I don't have... Oh, there it goes. I kind of thought that was going to be the one I go with, which it probably is, because that is pretty badass. But I also do like to... this is a tough one. That magnet is a good one. I do also like to look at both versions of it. Now, you don't have to use the butterfly effect. You can take it off, and it also has just a standard hairpiece that you put back in her head. So it's kind of like a, you know, an emo swoop, which is nice. But I think because that you have, you know, such a cool piece, you might as well use it for what it is worth. If I had to choose, I got to tell you, it's almost looking like less is more on this. But I do think that when I chalk it up, her having her power does look a little more clean. So, here she is. So this is the final piece, guys. This is the XM PSYLOCKE. I think, all in all, a piece like this deserves a borderline round of applause. And the reason why I say that to you is because the way that it is sculpted is so unique. And the way that every little piece on this connects is really, really classy. Classy is maybe not the right word. But if you look at it all the way around, you'll see that this particular statue has a lot going on with it. And I think that's something that we often don't get whenever we buy a statue. This particular company is called XM Studios. I've been buying a lot of pieces from them recently because as I started off at Sideshow, I soon learned that there was a lot better places to buy. Iron Studios, Prime One, XM Studios, Queen Studios, PCS. It's reasons like this that put a lot of other companies to shame because they do so much at XM. They really do put a lot of time into making an ultimate piece for you so that you could add to your collection and be extremely excited about it. And that's what I would say I'm excited about this. Now, when I purchased this, I was looking at it through the actual way that the other guy who owned it, the way he had it all set up. And it kind of caught my eye instantly, not because it was just PSYLOCKE, but because of everything you see as it spins around on this table. So, for me, if I'm buying something, it's got to be something I like. It's got to be someone I like. And it's got to just really captivate me. And for me to pay a few $100s to buy this, it was super worth it. There's not much wrong I can say about it. But most importantly, it's something that's going to go great in my collection because I am an X-Men fan and I'm also a PSYLOCKE fan. Now, I don't know specifics about characters and I don't plan on ever knowing specifics about characters. But here she is, guys. The PSYLOCKE XM. Really, really, really awesome. And really just, the base is more dynamic than her. And it's almost a shame it's in the back, not in the front. But it's really cool. I really like this piece. And I think that it's definitely something, if you are a fan of any of the women of X-Men, this is a piece to get. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and assembly. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment down below if you want to see more from any of these pieces, or if you have any questions about any of these pieces. If I can answer it, I will be more than happy to. By the way, if you ask me about custom pieces, you'll have to find me on Instagram, because I cannot give any information to any of the custom guys. It's kind of like a code of honor when it comes to anybody that's in this industry. We just don't tell people, randomly all over the internet, because it could eventually affect them. So with that being said, guys, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.